Welcome to Audio Gyan with Kedar Nimkar, a podcast that documents insightful conversations with Indian designers, artists, musicians, writers, thinkers, and creatives of all types. Catch us on iTunes or visit audiogyan.com for more Gyan sessions. Here's your host, Kedar Nimkar.
We are recording this backstage of Curious Design Yatra 2019. Today I have Anthony Burrill with us on AudioGyan. He's a graphic artist, printmaker, and a designer known for his persuasive, upbeat style of communication. Anthony is perhaps best known for his typographic, text-based compositions including the now famous Work Hard and Be Nice to People poster, which has become the design mantra for the design community and beyond. He has a beautiful website which showcases his work, bio, and process of him creating really iconic posters and more. And there's obviously plenty of interviews, videos, and talks about his process of creating artwork and his experimentation online. What I would like to try today and document is ask him few questions about his thought process, his messages, and not the medium. So although medium is the message, but let's find out. So thank you, Anthony, for giving your time, and it's a real honor to have you on AudioGyan.
Yeah, it's a pleasure, and thank you for inviting me.
But just to set context, if you can very briefly, quickly tell us who's a printmaker and what he or she does exactly.
Well, the clue's in the name, really. It's somebody who makes prints.
Printing.
Yeah, I think it's an art practice that involves making multiple artworks. So not just a one-off piece, but an edition or a multiple number of artworks.
Okay.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's quite a broad term. So I think it's a term that I like to sort of describe my work with, as opposed to just being a graphic designer. I think it kind of describes a little bit better what I do in my practice.
Mm-hmm. And any quick background about any history, where did it start? At least in Europe or maybe in London, where did it start? How did it happen?
I think as an art practice, maybe in the 60s. I suppose you think of Andy Warhol and artists like Rauschenberg. The pop artists, I think, popularised that kind of printmaking. I think prior to that would be maybe Hogarth, the kind of political cartoonist who made work in the Georgian times. So one of his famous prints was Gin Alley, and it was talking about the kind of the misuse of alcohol by people in Georgian times. So I think as a kind of political idea, I think it maybe go back to those days. But I think in the modern era, since the 60s and 70s, it's a way of, I think, fine artists producing multiple artworks that can then be editioned and sold through galleries. So, and then I think for me, I think it's appealing because I think it kind of elevates the work into more of a kind of fine art arena rather than commercial design, which is part of my background.
Mm-hmm. So coming to the main questions which I wanted to elaborate more on. You have produced some iconic lines through your work, right? How do you arrive on these lines? I'm not asking for inspiration, but how do you arrive on these lines? I mean, particularly, I like it. What is it?
Yeah,
right?
Sure.
Or maybe just I've seen like one poster which just says tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right? So one word is one poster. So if you can just tell us what does it mean, and do you always have to be narrating a story around it, or just the poster does the job, or how does that work?
I think it's kind of, I suppose, my background in advertising and commercial design taught me how to kind of really pare things down to kind of, in the end it's just the words with a minimum use of typography. So I like to communicate as much as I can using the littlest means that I've got available. So I think it's an idea of just communicating a small message that then hopefully connects with people and engages in some way and, you know, starts a conversation. So, you know, we're chatting about it now. So I think it's connected with you, and I think you want to find out more about it. So it's done its job.
But then you have to, that's what, you have to be present to answer my few questions.
Yeah.
Because I have a very interesting follow-up question on that. But you can continue this. So do you have to be present to communicate the thought behind the process?
No. I think I think an artwork fails if it has to be explained to you. And I think,
but then in this case, tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow being just you and me, I think, to a certain extent, you get the context.
Yeah.
But tomorrow can be interpreted in 1,000 other ways.
Yeah, well, it's open to interpretation, and I know what it means for me.
Okay.
But it's what does it mean to? Well, what does it mean to you tomorrow?
It would be a very local example. In India, we really never had a culture of credit. So in India, you will see a lot of places which says, come tomorrow if you want credit. Right?
Yeah.
And the context is basically tomorrow never comes.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So that's how I interpreted it.
Yeah, I saw one when we were driving yesterday. Today's pain is tomorrow's gain, and I think I just love kind of I like wordplay, and I like how ideas can be kind of twisted maybe, and the context of words changed, and I think when you put some words on the wall, you know, whether it's where you work or where you live, those words take on a different meaning to different people who interact with them. So I think it's the ambiguity of it that I really like as well, and I think it's I think you can. I don't know, it's just kind of connecting with people in a way that is not obvious. You know, I try and steer away from things being too obvious and being too kind of explained. And I think it's about lots of things really. It's about a love of visual communication.
And I'm as I'm researching more into graphic design world and general media and stuff, I may be wrong, but I'm just putting out this to you, that your work, at least what I've seen online, as per my understanding, it lies at the cusp of art for art's sake at the one end spectrum, and say didactic art at the other end, right? So work hard and be nice to people is sort of your message, which has a what do you say, like a value which tries to communicate certain in a very positive way. Whereas art for art's sake could be like just play of alphabets, play of space, alignment, and so on and so forth. So I find it right in the middle. It's neither like too preachy, neither it's just art. So how do you define that?
Well, I've always been on the boundaries of disciplines. So even when I was at university, I was between graphic design, illustration, sculpture. You know, I was interested in lots of different things. And at the time, I didn't see a reason to specialise in one particular field, because I felt like that would kind of restrict my creative development. And I think I've rediscovered that kind of multidisciplinary approach over the past 10 years, maybe. It's kind of working in lots of different media, kind of sculpture and installations and printmaking and film and music, and just trying lots of different ways of making work and kind of exploring different ways of kind of expressing myself, really.
So I think I've interpreted it correctly, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. But you know, everyone's interpretation has got, you know, merit and value, and it's kind of it. You know, you put work out into the world, and you hope people will notice it and pay attention, and you're just trying to put yourself out into the world, really. Yeah, I think I think that lies at the core of it.
To extend that further, I understand like analog creations, like the way you play with actual wood and stuff. It has its own warmth, it has its own charm, right? With digital, there are certainly trade-offs. There are certain not so good things and also good things, right? But still, if you compare internet, it's still 20 years old, 30 years old, whereas print has been more than that. So, how do you, what goes in your mind when you try and challenge in the analog world itself to push the boundaries? Because a lot of things are possible in digital, but you just do probably a prototype, a rough sketch, just an idea. But at least from what I've seen, you're trying to push the boundaries in the analog world as well.
Yeah.
So where do these thoughts come from?
Well, I think for me, it's I'm always interested in trying new things and exploring different media and things like that. And it's kind of, but I always come back to the physical and the handmade. I use the computer a lot, to kind of make work, but it's always got its roots in the handmade and the physical. And I think it's that connection between actually being in the real physical world and connecting with things that kind of makes that connection between my personality and my background and my education in design, my childhood, and all the things that I've always been obsessed with, and things like music and kind of art and kind of dance and just experience of life. Everything is kind of wrapped up in the work that I make. So that's why I think I've kind of gone away from working for brands and clients and things, and kind of working more solely, making my own projects now, and then working on specific ideas that I think have got value and kind of worth spending time on.
So in case of oil and water, I saw the video. Later on, it got commissioned, or like it was a not-for-profit angle, right?
Yeah.
But what initiated the idea then?
So that came through a creative team who were working in an advertising agency in Brussels. A guy called Tom and his girlfriend Cecilia. So they had the initial idea to print a poster using oil from the Gulf of Mexico spill. This was back in 2010. So yeah, a long time ago now. So they approached me to design the poster because they had the original concept, but they didn't have the message that they wanted to kind of print.
No, so the idea of going to other place where there was, I believe it's Mexico?
Yeah, the Gulf of Mexico.
Correct, Gulf of Mexico. So going there, getting the right material, was all that conceived by you or by them?
It was by them.
Okay.
Yeah, but I think I got involved through the design and the meaning of the poster, and then I think that kind of transferred through through the medium of their original idea. So I think it I think it was collaboration.
Why do you think your work is appreciated so much? I'll explain it. Is it the medium, the means, or the message? And how do you see all these three aspects as well?
Yeah, I think because it's so kind of closely linked with I suppose me and my personality and the way that I deal with other human beings I try to be open, and I try to be accommodating and friendly, and just generally be an okay kind of person. So I think that's what the work does as well. It kind of goes out into the world, and it's got a kind of approachable look to it, and I think it's something that it's kind of memorable because it's simple, and I've been doing it for a long time, so I've got a decent back catalogue now of work that has got a consistency and a kind of an idea, a thread that kind of runs through it, that it's basically all one piece of work, and I'm kind of adding adding new parts to this bigger body of work.
So if I have to go slightly more philosophical and ask you, I don't know whether you have heard of this name, Marshall McLuhan.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
So he says medium is the message.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
how would you respond to that? I mean, if you were...
Yeah, well, I think he was very prescient, in the 60s when he was kind of looking at the way that information was being disseminated through television and through print media. And I think his ideas have kind of mushroomed really in the kind of information and technology age that we're in now. That the way that it's affecting people and the development of, I suppose the positive side is like connections and being connected with a lot of people at one time, but the negatives are being kind of your voice seems to be lost, in all the noise and the chaos, and it's very difficult to make sense of it. I think you have to just navigate your own way through this kind of avalanche of stuff.
Actually, so I have one more question. Sorry.
Sure.
So since you mentioned about the noise and everything, so are you having what are your thoughts about taking, or are you taking this conscious decision of sticking to simple and making good use of the medium and the message so that it doesn't get lost in the noise of at least the today's time?
Yeah. I think well, for me, I just I've got a kind of palette of materials and kind of things that I use to make the work, and that has got its own identity and a connection with everything else. So they're all like different parts of a jigsaw puzzle, all connected together to make this thing that I make. And I think that's the strength of it. I think it's the consistency of the message and kind of keeping things simple and not trying to be too clever. Just trying to be human and saying, I don't understand things. We're all just trying to work out, our lives and how to live with other people and just how to be okay with each other.
But does this come because when you're young, when you're starting your career, you just want your palette to be ever growing and ever increasing and just exploring different dimensions?
Yeah.
But with maturity, I believe the palette doesn't shrink, but you're happy with that and you can see everything within that itself, right? Massimo Vignelli says, I'm fine with 2 fonts for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
So is this a trait of being mature, or is it where is it coming from?
Yeah, well, I'm 52 now, and I feel like I've, I kind of know who I am now, and I know what I'm dealing with, and I know my limitations, but I also know my strengths and potential, and I think it's, when you're in your teens, it's chaos. In your 20s, you kind of feel like you should be grown up. In your 30s, you're still searching for what it is. And I think maybe it's only when you get into your 40s that you start to understand who you are. And then, so I'm in the good bit now, I think. 50s and 60s, I think is, I think they're good times to be in.
Cool. I think on that great note, I know I'm not really equipped for a much deeper conversation because of my experience, but it's just my modest effort to document your thoughts.
Yeah,
and
it's great.
It's a real honor to speak to you, and
thank
you for giving your time. And if people have to follow you, the most is Anthony Burrill on Instagram.
Yeah, Instagram. Is my weakness. And
I would definitely tell my listeners to check out anthonyburrill.com.
Yeah, sure.
And it's beautiful, great posters. Obviously, I need to not tell you it's a great inspiration to, in fact, see your work also.
Thank you very much. Cool. It's been good to chat with you. Thank you.
Thank you.
And that's it from today's Gyan session. Catch us on iTunes, Savan, Stitcher, or any podcasting app you use. Do rate us on iTunes and follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Stay tuned for more Gyan on audiogyan.com. Till then, bye.
Are fresh fruits and vegetables a part of your day? If not, we can help. We're New Jersey Snap Ed, and we offer budget-friendly ways to help you add nutritious fruits and vegetables to your meals and snacks. For healthy recipe ideas, visit njsnap-ed.gov today. That's njsnap-ed.gov.